You are smart, successful, and you already know what you need to do when it comes to losing weight. Eat healthily, in a calorie deficit, move more, sleep well, look after your basic health. So then why the hell are you not actually doing it? And if you've ever caught yourself saying, I know what I need to do, I just need to do it, then this video is for you. I'm gonna explain the real reason why you're stuck, why it has nothing to do with willpower, and the steps that you can take to get out of this straight away after this video. Hello, my name is Ailish and I am the founder of The Wellness Club, which is a women's online health coaching service. We work with high achieving professional women like you to overcome all or nothing, burnout, fatigue when it comes to your wellness. And we help you build a healthy, happy routine that you love so that you can thrive, achieving all of your fitness, physical and performance-based goals along the way. I've split today's video into 3 sections, and what to expect is section 1, what you think is the problem, where we'll quickly see if what I think you think the problem is what you actually think the problem is, and see if you have a little bit of a light bulb moment, hopefully. Section 2, the actual problem, which I'm not gonna lie, it might make you feel like you're holding the mirror up to yourself, and that can make you feel uncomfortable. But you know what comes from uncomfortableness? Personal growth. And that means you getting one step closer to being the strong, sexy, confident babe that I know that you can be. And then in section 3, I have the solution, actionable tips and things that you can implement straight away to start seeing some progress. Right, so let's get into section 1, what you think is the problem. But first, we'll quickly go through the basics. So you know and I know what we need to do to lose weight. A calorie deficit, movement, and if we're going to optimize for fat loss, strength training, alongside the basics, hydration, sleep, stress management. You don't need me to tell you that, because I know that you know that. And the thing is, I know that you got your degree, I know that you got your master's, I know that you got your PhD, I know that you got your job that is very hard and requires a lot of research and critical thinking every single day. You've already done the research, you've downloaded guides, you've followed programs before, and nothing has ever quite stuck. And you probably already know this by now, but it's not the knowledge that you struggle with, it's the implementation. So it's the knowledge doing gap, especially if you've got a lot going on. You're juggling career, family life, just a busy social life even, good for you. You don't really have the bandwidth, and you can often get stuck and trapped in saying things like, I just don't have the time, I know what I need to do, I just need to do it, or like, I don't have the willpower. But when you objectively think about those statements, you know they're not true. You know as you're saying them, you don't genuinely believe in them. You know that it's just kind of like a cover up. And a little bit of data here for you might make you feel better or worse about yourself. I don't know how you're going to interpret it, but good intentions, like wanting the best for yourself, wanting to be healthy and sane, you know, I intend to be a healthier version of myself, only actually accounts for 30 to 40% of variance in actual health behaviors. Like, saying does not mean doing. This is the knowledge doing gap. Just saying that I know what to do or I want to be healthier doesn't mean that you are going to get there. So to conclude this very brief section, you think at the moment that your excuses, and I don't mean this to be crude or offensive or nasty or hurtful, but that if we're open and we're honest, they are excuses. We are using them and we think they're the reason that we're not making progress. We don't think, we know that they're not, but we're saying that they are. That's where you're at right now, you know, I don't have time, I know what to do, I just need to do it, and so on. Now let's move this to the side and move on to section 2 so that you can understand truly at the core what is going on and how to start overcoming it. Now with a lot of these things, I feel like I will just either be giving words to a feeling that you already have in your head, or just repeating information that still you already know. It's just the actions and the implementations that you're struggling with. And I know exactly what this feels like, because not with health, like lucky for me that this has ended up being the area that I'm in, because I just get health on an emotional level. But with other things in life, I overthink myself into oblivion, because when you're somebody who is a high achiever, when you're somebody who is a knowledgeable girl, you want to research, you want to deep dive, you want to get all of your references, and you want to make an informed decision. And that gets you stuck in such a hole, because you're like, right, if I just look at one more thing, if I just need to form a very well-rounded opinion. So you keep saying to yourself, like, if I just learn more, if I plan better, then I'll succeed. But like, we're still here. So in this section, we're going to cover 7 things that you might be experiencing right now that are leading to you being blocked. This is your wall, and we're going to hopefully break down your wall so that you can get over it. The first thing you might be doing is getting stuck in the thinking is easier than doing loop. Now, I actually have a little quote on my computer on one of the little stickies because it sat with us so much when I first read it, and I was like, oh, the fantasy is easier than the reality. And I think a lot of it, I get stuck in this myself, and I know that you do. It's easy to think about being someone who effortlessly wakes up early in the morning, full of energy, has a healthy breakfast, goes to the gym, has a productive day of work, goes and sees the friends in the evening, and just has a beautiful evening routine. Like, you have it all. It's easy to think that. You can imagine that day so well, but actually carrying it out is so fucking hard to build up to that point. Now, being in that routine can be very easy, but the 3 months it takes to trial and error and get into that routine, that is hard. Once you're in it, easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Building up to it, very hard. But once you're aware of that, like, it's a lot easier to have the fantasy of your weight loss goal, your physical goal, your strength goal, your running goal, whatever that goal might be, than actually taking the steps that are needed. The second thing that you might be doing is being afraid of failure and protecting your ego. You are somebody who thrives in everything you do. You got high marks in school. You thrive in your job, like you are a top performer. So if you go to take up a fitness routine and there is a risk that you'll fail or struggle and you won't just get it straight away, you're going to anxiously avoid doing that because it threatens your ego. So like, from a psychological standpoint, oh my God, actually, that's just reminded us, if your background is in psychology, like if your degree is in psychology, LOL at you, no offense. It is just kind of funnier for you to know all of this, to know psychologically what's going on and still struggle with it, because it's just like, it's peak, isn't it? Like, it's so peak, all these things exist and it is hard. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but like, if you have already got all of this understanding, if you know psychologically what's holding you back, and then you also know what you need to do to get where you need to be when it comes to your goals, oh, what a horrible place to be. But anyways, it is safer to do nothing at all than it is to do something, try and fail and damage your ego. Now, I think a lot of you will relate to this one. And the third thing that you might be struggling with is an all or nothing mindset, especially somebody who is got really impossibly high standards. If the quality of everything you do in life is perfect, then you are going to want your health regime to be perfect too, even if it's a lot easier to be perfect in work than it is in your health. An essay or a project or something that can just be tippity typed on the computer is very easy to kind of like go through. There's a lot less emotion, there's a lot less barriers that can get in the way. If you're good at something, you can bash it out and you can get so much pride in that. Yet when it comes to building up your routine, like, it has to be imperfect. Like, you have to fail, and that is obviously an area that could be holding you back. You physically need to go into your brain and change that mindset from all or nothing to something is better than nothing, and something is going to make me see progress. Now, you might be suffering from the fourth thing, which is the fact that willpower is finite, especially when you got a lot going on in your life. If your schedule is back to back, you have a lot going on in your home life, your family life, at work, by the end of the day, you have no willpower left to kind of make healthy decisions. Like, you are completely depleted. So when I mentioned bandwidth earlier, you honestly do not have the bandwidth left to be able to make healthy choices, healthy decisions. I'm going to insert a little example from my life here, because I used to plan my food on a Thursday evening for the week ahead, and I noticed I'd always skip it, and I was like, why do I keep skipping? I planned it into my schedule, why am I not doing it? On a Thursday night, I was so knackered, like mentally I was drained, like all of my creative juices went into work. So I was obviously just putting it off because I was like, I'm not in the mood to do this. Changed it to a Friday morning and stuck to it very easily. I found it a lot easier, and it's just kind of like the willpower is a muscle. So just learning and being aware of that and making those adaptations to your own life. Not gonna lie though, this is where online coaching can help, because a lot of that willpower isn't necessary when somebody is designing it for you, with you, designed for your life. It makes actually starting a heck of a lot easier. Number 5 is something that I'm struggling with at the moment when it comes to phone addiction, but that is instant gratification. We are wired now more than ever for instant rewards. Doesn't matter how smart you are, doesn't matter what qualifications you've got, your psychology is just the same as anybody else's, and we are all victims. Scrolling on your phone, online shopping, watching Netflix, all so much more attractive and immediately gratifying compared to a workout, for example. Now, you probably have an issue with your phone as well, if I'm honest. And if you are able to kind of divvy up your time a bit better, spend less time on your phone, spend more time on self-development, it will probably help benefit you in your goals, but you might be stuck in that notification, instant gratification. The 6th thing that you might struggle with is a little bit linked to that willpower thing, but it's more so just about having too many decisions and not enough time. Because obviously, when you are juggling work, social, personal, when you're juggling everything that you're juggling, adding on an extra responsibility such as exercise or meal prep is mega overwhelming, and it's easy to just keep pushing that off and pushing that off and pushing that off. But what you're doing here is you're just making it not a priority, and if it's not a priority, you're not going to give it the attention it needs. You're going to have to adjust the priorities in your life, because you're not going to have a healthy, balanced lifestyle if your lifestyle doesn't reflect that. So your lifestyle literally needs to change. Where you spend your time and priorities need to change to support that. Did I put 7 things up last time? I think I meant to put 6, but 7 is you might be struggling with cognitive dissonance and over-rationalising, you cheeky monkey. Now, this is something that I experience a lot with clients at the Wellness Club, because you're good at debating, you're good at having an intelligent conversation, which means you're good at rationalizing all of the possible reasons why something isn't possible. And you are just like, well, I can't do this because of this reason. I can't work out because XYZ. I can't cook this meal because XYZ. I can't do this thing because of XYZ. This is just your brain reducing cognitive dissonance between you wanting to achieve a goal and you not carrying out the actions, or you carrying out opposing actions that take you away from the goal. So as you've seen, the reason that you are struggling has got nothing to do with your knowledge. Thankfully, you've got that, and I'm proud of you, but we knew that already. And it's got everything to do with the fact that our brains crave ease and comfort. You are literally just a product and a result of your psychology. And you also know, lucky for you, because I know that you know it, that our brains are neuroplastic. They can be redesigned, they can be changed. You can shake this up, you can pull some stuff out, you can add some new stuff in. And now that's not easy, because it's a lot easier to take the easy option. Our brain wants to take the easy option all of the time. But instead, we're gonna work with some neuroplasticity and reshape our brains to help us achieve our goals in section 3. You know what? Actually, I'm a little bit raging because I've been filming for half an hour now. None of you's told us that my necklaces were skewy. They were a proper mess, and it's so annoying because they're like heavier on this side, so this little bit always comes down, but I don't want to put a pendant on them, so I'm just stuck looking like a bloody slack half-ounce most of the time. Anyways, enough about my necklaces. Let's get into section 3. How to turn everything that you know into action and overcome all those psychological things that are holding you back. Quick little reality check and brief reminder that you're not gonna out hard work the system. Closing the knowledge doing gap isn't about trying harder, working harder, pushing harder, having more discipline, having more motivation. It's about working smart, not hard. Interestingly here, take a peek into my psychology, but I suffered with this a bit building a business, because I actually had no knowledge, to be honest with you, so I had to learn the knowledge first. But anyways, I'd say people around us in the industry that I know didn't have the qualifications that I had and didn't have the experience and the education and the knowledge that I had, yet they seemed to be able to balance being a business owner so much easier than me. And I was just very confused. I was like, What kind of magic discipline do they have? Like, where does the motivation come from? What is it that they knew and I didn't know? And ultimately, what it came down to was they just did, failed, picked up and moved on at a much more faster and much more rapid pace, which led to faster progress than me, who would over-rationalize, overlearn and try and figure out everything instead of just giving it a go, failing faster, because the faster you fail, the faster you make progress. So I know exactly how you're feeling, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna cover 8 quick little things that should help you, and you probably know some of them anyways, but you know what, can't help to have a little bit of a refresh. Number 1, this is my favorite piece of advice, and that is to adopt an identity-based approach. Love this so much. Language and identity is really important. Quoting a study here that I recall, I don't know the study specifically, but it was about smokers and the language that smokers used. If somebody said, oh, I'm not smoking, versus, oh, I'm not a smoker, those that said, like, oh, I'm not smoking tonight, or, you know, I'm not smoking at the moment, or I'm giving up smoking, that group of people ended up having like a higher rate of going back to smoking compared to the group that said, I'm not a smoker. In the language they used, they were rebuilding an identity of not being a smoker. So you are a fit, healthy girly. Like, you need to think, what would insert name do? And insert name is your healthy version of yourself. So like, what would Ailish do? When I'm feeling struggly when it comes to anything, I literally think, right, you know, the most productive, healthiest, happiest, best version of me that wants the best for myself in this circumstance, what is it that she would do right now? And I have done this so many times. I am business owner Ailish, so when I'm struggling with business and owning a business and being an entrepreneur, I think, what would the business boss, badass bitch Ailish do? And I'm gonna be a mum soon. Love that for me. And I'm gonna be a business badass boss bitch, business, fitness, healthy mom, juggling it all, doing it all. I'm gonna do it all. That's the identity in my head, and I refer to her. It works. Change your identity instead of thinking, I'll try, or, you know, it'd be nice. Great. It's not worked for you before, and it's not going to work for you in the future. So change your identity. Take ourselves out of science for a moment and pop ourselves into a little bit more of a woo-woo state of mind. This is also known as delulu is the solulu. So if you are delusional enough, that is the solution. If you believe it, it will happen, truly. So believing in yourself and believing in this identity is going to lead to outcomes that are closer towards achieving this goal. Number 2 is we need to start stupidly, ridiculously, pointlessly small. So small that you probably just brush this off because what's the point? And that is something that's holding you back. Going to bed 30 minutes earlier. Well, what's the point? That's not going to change anything. It's going to give you 30 minutes more in bed. It's going to give you a bit more energy. After a week, you're going to have more energy. What else can we add on? And 4 weeks of stupidly small things where it's maybe eat a higher protein meal once a day, or it's go for a 5-minute walk. And you are saying, what's the point? I'm not going to do it unless it's perfect, all or nothing kind of vibes. It's holding you back and you're no further forward. So please accept that starting so stupidly small is the answer. The third thing that we can do is introduce habit stacking, where you've got habits every single day. You can, and you probably have heard about this because like James Clear, Atomic Habits, you probably read that book. If not, listen to it on an Audible or read it. It is actually smashing. But every day you brush your teeth, every day you put your makeup on, every day you get ready, every day you've got like things that you do. Stack a healthy positive habit onto those things that already exist, and it's going to be a lot easier to build. The fourth thing that we can do to be successful is to design your environment for success. Now, this looks like a lot of things, and to give you an example, in an apartment that I lived in a few years ago, I had a biscuit jar on the counter. That was my environment. So every day I had this habit, this cue, response, reward. The cue was walk into the kitchen in the morning and see the cookie jar. And the response was grab cookie, have cookie. Reward was dopamine, woo woo woo. So much so that when your body has a habit, when you have a habit, you build a habit loop, and the cue, response, reward will happen regardless of whether you carry out the habit or not. So sometimes I would be sat on the sofa and your brain is going to work through this habit that it's used to. I would think about cookies and I'd be like, oh, I haven't had my cookie yet, because what your brain likes about habits is more so the anticipation than the actual carrying out of the act, which is a long thing that we could get into. But environment. I ate a lot of cookies, my friends, but do you know what? I removed that cookie jar from my environment, and the cookies, they weren't there anymore, and I didn't fancy them anymore because I changed my environment. But this links to things such as like laying your clothes out the night before, so that in the morning they're there, they're ready, packing a bag, doing anything with your environment that's going to make you achieving your goals easier. Having less cookies on show, having more healthy snacks readily available, meal prepping, so when you open your fridge you've got delicious healthy meals right there in front of you. Your environment is helping it be easier for you. So the fifth thing you can do to overcome these struggles and start seeing progress is to reduce your decision load. So ways that you can do this are kind of making sure that you plan who, what, where, when, how when it comes to all of your goals. Instead of saying, I'm going to try and do a class this week, book the class date and time, book it in, get rid of any kind of decision that needs to be made. Because if you say, I'd like to train this week, very vague, and you're going to be so exhausted that when it comes to that day, you're probably going to just push it off. Whereas if you remove as much decision load as possible, it's going to make it a lot easier. Now, we also do help with this at the Wellness Club. We deep dive into your entire history, your nutrition on a deep level, your goals, your experience, what the next few months of your life look like, and also what your lifestyle as a whole looks like. And we design a plan around you and give you options that we design, but obviously not just saying like, right, do this, good luck, because you've got preferences, right? So we can give you a bunch of different options and you can pick what looks best for you and then just adapt and overcome. But it reduces all of the mental load that is required to make all of these decisions by just kind of whittling it down to like, would you like to do this or this? These are the two best options for you in your circumstances. Anyways, going on to number 6, which is accountability and social support, which you can get from friends, family. You can make a group chat with a couple of your friends and say, keep me on track, so help me friends. And there are loads of places that you can get accountability at the Wellness Club. We provide our accountability through weekly support clubs with our psychotherapists, a group chat that is available daily, and community events and meetups. 2 more things left, then you can leave. Now for number 7, I did cover this briefly earlier on, but we're just bringing it back and we're talking about how we need to embrace imperfection. Good enough is going to beat perfection every single time. Everyone who has got a slamming snatched body has got their good enough. It's not been through perfection. You'll see some things on Instagram that might make you think, well, that person like clearly ticked all of these boxes, like they didn't miss a workout, they didn't do this, that and the other. But like that's just because the algorithm's always going to show like extreme versions of things that's going to get brought to your attention. So if you're using that as a point of comparison, that's holding you back. People who are looking amazing, snatched, healthy relationships with food, healthy relationships with exercise, great shape, they are good enough. They are not perfect. Finally, this is my motto in life, number 8. Find the joy. Make it enjoyable. Fucking enjoy the fucking stupid ass bloody journey. Sorry for the swearing, ma'am. But it's basically, what's the point in making it a painful, horrible experience? Do you want to be, like, you want to hate it? Because, like, I personally would not live a life that was unenjoyable. I'd not want to do that. I'd want to see, where can I make it more fun? Like, how can I make this more enjoyable and more exciting and more fun? Because we're like having fun. So if you're punishing yourself or being like, oh, I've got to do my meal prep, or oh, like I don't want to do this, well, you're probably going to have a really bloody hard time having a lifestyle where you've got to do that thing that you do not look forward to. Now again, this can elongate your journey because having fun maybe doesn't lead to progress, but it gets you in, like it gets your foot in the door. So if you can make it fun and enjoy yourself, you can start to make progress and start building on top of that. But you'll be having fun, you'll be consistent, not perfect but consistent, and that's gonna get you to where you want to be. Whew, well, that's it. Woo, I hope that something in there really helped you. Something maybe you've probably heard it all before, and hopefully if you haven't, it's been really insightful. But ultimately, like at the end of the day, it all comes down to you. You just have to be ready. And the thing is, you're never gonna be ready. So you just have to pick the time where you choose to be ready, you know? You just have to give it a go. And there's never gonna be a perfect time, when it's never gonna be perfect, the process itself. But when you decide that you're ready to go and fight against failure and keep overcoming and learning from your mistakes, that's it. Like that is the mindset shift that is needed for you to make the progress that you deserve. I'm being majorly inconvenienced here because this is the third time the camera has died. I just want to finish filming my video. Okay, so those are the 3 areas covered, and I hope that something in this has either helped you learn something new and that you actually apply that knowledge, or helped you have a light bulb moment, or just being like a bit of a reality check, because sometimes we just need a little bit of a reality check to move forward and stop being stuck. Obviously, I'm going to plug the Wellness Club if you think that support actually might be the best option for you right now, which honestly it is in some circumstances. We help high achieving women like you stop relying on motivation or knowledge and help you develop the skills that are needed to build a really sturdy, sustainable routine to achieve all of the health goals that you have. The link to inquire will be in the caption in the bio. Otherwise, please subscribe, share, or just do something that makes the algorithm like us. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.